It's showtime.
Hey, what's going on, Alex?
What's happening, man? Welcome back to the EDC hour with me and Dirk. What's going on, everybody? Let's
Good
get
to
right
be
into it.
here. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about our topic today because I think it's really prevalent. How does social media affect, your collecting, your buying, your enthusiasm to the hobby or not? Um, Things like that. I think, social media is just so prevalent in everything today, politics and which we're going to try not to get into on this show. But
Hmm.
it's just out there, and so I think we owe it to people to really kind of give our opinions and talk a little bit about the good and the bad, kind of like we do our videos. We talk about
Yeah,
the good and we talk about the bad of a particular knife, right? Like this Benchmade Narrows that I have that I haven't done a video on yet. There's good things and there's bad things. So I'll talk about both in my video. And I think we should do the same thing with social media today. Now, we also do have
absolutely.
a last minute guest who was going to be here, but then he wasn't going to be here, but then he is going to be here. Your friend and mine, Beard of Doom.
What's
Oh
going on,
yeah,
everybody? Don't
and don't
forget
forget about
Gertrude.
the
We got
Gertrude.
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 Yeah.
And Gert and his sidekick, Gertrude.
She doesn't say much, but she's a nice eyeful to look at.
For
Well, at least she's
sure.
wearing a bra. I mean, for
Yeah,
Pete's
at
sake.
least she's decent for primetime television, if you will.
She ain't wearing no bottoms though. Ready for action.
Well, I appreciate you guys
Yeah.
having me on.
And it's
Oh,
great
we
to have
love it.
you on.
Welcome, Ant, Metal Inquisitor, which I think is Aussie Mike. He's changed his stuff around, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Is that Aussie Mike? He changed his name again?
welcome to you folks and anybody else that's not in the comments. We don't spend hours talking about, hi everybody, hi everybody, hi everybody, hi everybody. We just kind of start and get to the meat and potatoes. So,
Damn, I feel personally attacked then.
well, that's just how we do it here. So we will start off with our guest of honor here, Mr. Doom. What were you carrying around today as you were doing your Sunday, whatever you were doing?
I was carrying the new Katuo Kamasu. This is barely out of prototyping stage. It's designed by a guy named Braden Sweeten
Uh-huh.
of BSD Knife Design.
Okay.
It's only $250 if you buy
Whoa.
it at the Katuo USA site, and it's big. It's
Yeah, that
meaty.
looks.
It's
Yep.
got some heft to it.
That's
It's
what she
not.
said.
Yeah.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. But yeah, I mean, it's got a really nice reverse flick. It's got the flipper tab.
Hey, Stace.
You
Stacy.
can pinch it out, but for the most part, I just flipper tab it. But
Okay.
That's nice, man.
it's a really solid knife. So I got that one, and I've got another.
I like the way they did the pivot on that one with the colors and a little bit of like a divot kind of on the pivot itself. It looks clean. I like that. And the fact that they actually like chopped the flipper tab down a little bit flatter, I think is nice too.
The flipper tab is tiny on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
nice.
obnoxious at all. So that's pretty cool. And then the other thing I noticed too is the scale from the transition is looks really good from carbon fiber to titanium.
It is. It's done really clean. And anybody who knows shred carbon fiber, it's almost impossible to get shred carbon fiber without finding what appears to be a void or two.
The void, yes.
The voids.
The void.
This particular one has none, actually.
Nice.
That's something I noticed.
Impressive. I was sitting there talking with Braden, and I was giving them a hard time over a few different things. And I was telling him, I was like, bro, you're killing me on this thing. How am I supposed to buy your knife if it doesn't look like this over here?
Right?
So one of my biggest pet peeves is a lock side that doesn't match the show side.
Awesome, Mike.
But yeah, I was giving him a hard time about it. He enjoyed it, or pretended to enjoy the hard time.
Okay.
I think that thing is nice.
But yeah, that looks good. I would be interested to hear your
It's almost
video
like
here.
a little bit of that less is more,
Mm.
And I like that kind of effect with things.
Yeah, it's a really cool knife. It's got a great blade style. They're calling it a reverse Tonto. I'm calling that a modified dragon foot sheep claw thing.
Dragon penis.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not really a reverse Tonto necessarily. I mean, it sort of is. I get where they're coming from.
Yeah, I mean it's got angles, but yeah.
And then what about you, Alex?
Everybody could be like the reverse Tonto, the sheep's foot, I don't know. I was carrying a cheese cutter today. This is an old Surge design from Spyderco.
Yes.
This is the Rock.
The Rock,
and,
that's right.
I actually been carrying this for a couple days now.
So nice.
I love a little cleaver.
Yeah, man, they're really cool, and especially this one's got some very nice lines. The handle's really comfortable. I was supposed to get this thing completely modded, and this guy who
you get a knife modded? No. What the hell?
But here's the thing. I gave it to this guy in 2017. I only recently just got it back unfinished. So it never got done because for whatever life happened and whatever. I said, no, keep the stuff. I know you'll do it one day. And then 5 years later, I'm like, send my shit back. So it feels good. It's like having a new knife again. It actually has one of my very first edges I ever done on a knife. So
that's cool.
Yeah, like so many years ago.
It's funny here that Aussie Mike says, I'm staying away from watching knife channels, so I'm not tempted to buy more knives. So you influencers are very influential. Yeah, that's funny, except for yesterday, I got a package in the mail from EDC addressed to Mike. So he's not done buying knives, but
he's still buying.
He's still buying. And then he told me, he goes, oh yeah, I forgot about that one. There's a pre-order, and some of the pre-orders are starting to ship. And then he emails me later and goes, oh yeah, there's 3 of these coming from this maker, and then there's something else coming from another thing in July. So maybe he spent all his money months ago, and they're just now coming. So
I don't think he has a really cool OTF coming.
I think he's got a 3-bedroom house for his knife collection, and
I think so.
I think he lives in the garage.
You think you got a lot of knives, Alex? I think Mike has got you beat.
Although, when you zoom in on me like that, it does, and there's actually like a couple
another shelf above.
There's actually one shelf above and one shelf down. And I actually had to get a half-size knife box, which is now right next to it for all the gun gear and stuff.
I don't have that many knives. And so what I was carrying today, honestly, what I did carry when I went out to go do some work at my girlfriend's house was the RJ Martin Q36 SS. You can see a bunch of tape residue there. She had a big,
great knife.
Big outdoor umbrella stand, thing for the sun and the rain that I was starting to put together, and it was missing a piece or two. So, but that's what I did carry when I went out. Prior to going out,
carbon on there,
I was carrying the prototype battle from Todd Sr. We talked about this in last week's last episode's live with Jim Skelton. Was the auction knife that Alex I am blaming for pushing me to buy it.
And Chris was involved.
And Chris, it was a tag team. We're in a group chat together, and both of them forced me to keep bidding, and I won. So
you know what? Just stop right there. We'll talk. We're going to talk about this because, to be fair, that knife only belongs in your collection. Like,
what's funny
should not be in another collection because you have those battles just like all keep somehow going from different parts of the country, and one from Canada, and they're all like getting sucked into the void of wherever Dirk is over there. He's like, he's sucking all the
They do.
fishers
They
up.
all wind up at Dirk's house.
You know,
It's
so if you
kind
got
of
a
funny
fisher,
that you say that, because after I got it in the mail, and the auction ended a couple of weeks ago, I was traveling right after. And so I told Todd not to ship it to me because I was going to be out of town for like 4 days. So that's why I just got it literally just 2 days ago, Friday. So that's what took a little while, is because I was traveling and then Todd shipped it. But when I got it, I said, thank you, Todd. Sent him some pictures, a video. And he says, no matter how the auction turned out, because it didn't really go as high as we all anticipated or hoped, Todd was very happy and literally told me the same thing, that it belonged in my collection and I was the absolute correct curator of it in my collection. So
yeah,
that's
for
gotta
sure.
that's gotta make you feel all warm and fuzzy.
I'm excited to have it. I did an unboxing video. If you guys are interested, you can check on my channel. And then I'm going to do a full, more in-depth video on it here shortly. And I've done a couple of shorts with it, outside in natural light and things like that. So it's pretty amazing. I'm not gonna.
I think it's cool because your first kind of like endeavor in the Fisher collection was an Archangel, right?
Yeah, my very first Fisher knife was an Archangel that I got used from my buddy Game of Naf on Instagram, Tristan, who I know, who lives down in LA area.
So then he later on got the battle, right?
Then I got
to me,
very
that prototype
fancy battle. I think I had a Cobra from TJ in between the Archangel and the battle,
if
I recall. Then I sold a Cobra, got a different Cobra, kind of traded one Cobra for a different one. And then I got the Grail battle, and then I got a mini battle, and then I got the battle from Canada, the plain beater battle, if we call it the beater battle, just carbon fiber and just a plain monochrome mono steel blade. And then I ended up with the prototype. So there's one more battle out there in the world that I do want, but
the King, right?
The King, but Tristan is holding steady on that one. So I don't know if that will ever come to fruition.
I think it will.
We've talked about it for a couple of years. It's one of his favorite knives, and he carries it a lot. So it's all good. If it works out, it works out. So
see, what I was gonna say, it's like the Archangel and the battle.
Hey, Ellie.
Had sex.
It is.
And that's what came out.
Yeah, it's very Archangel-ish. It is a prototype battle. It's the first battle that Todd Sr. has made. Frank, his son, made all the other battles. And they were kind of collaborated. They came out of Todd's shop when Frank made the first one 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's like the parts are from like a 10-year-old. It's like 10-year-old parts or something like that he started making a project out of, right?
Yeah, I think it's that I'm not 100% sure on the parts. I think Todd just made all of this, but from the design from before. And Todd's going to make a couple a year, maybe 2-3 a year, in between making his own knives and in between finishing his house that he's been building for a while. So, yeah, there's not going to be too many out there of the Todd battles, I guess. Senior battles, Papa battles. I don't know. We'll dive into that more when I do the video on that guy. But the peer pressure of the auction, which really wasn't peer pressure, they itched me a little bit, but I was kind of already there.
You're a fucking pussy if you don't buy it.
There was that going on in our group chat. Like, there really was. And then there was, yeah, he can make you another one later, because Todd told me he'd make me one later, but it won't be a prototype. And on the inside of the backspacer, it's marked, Fisher, which Todd always does, and it's marked prototype. So there is no questioning that.
Yeah.
So that kind of brings us full circle to tonight's topic, social media and how it affects our collecting. Well, for me, there was a very slight bit of peer pressure. And I say that jokingly because Alex and Chris are really good friends of mine. They did prod me a little bit, but I was pretty much, if it hadn't have gone above a certain price, I was going to bid, and I ended up, winning the auction, right? Okay. But how does social media really
in all fairness, I think you got that knife for a great deal.
Absolutely did. And
It
Todd and I were
undersold.
talking about this. It undersold.
We didn't think you were going to win.
I did not think my bid was going to be.
We thought it was going to be like.
Anticipated it would be outbid a couple of times, and I kind of had a number in my head. Hey, if I get outbid,
Instagram, or where did they do that?
That one was on Instagram, and it was $100 increments.
Yep.
So I had in my mind, okay, I'm probably going to get outbid with this number, and if I do, I am going to go to this number, and then I am stopping. I had a number in my head I was going to stop at. I did not know that was going to be the bid. I thought it was going to go a couple more rounds up.
And then later it's like, oh my God, guys, I'm going to sell some shit next week.
However, I have not sold anything. I just bit the bullet. I bought it. There is a watch that I am seriously consider selling because I just really don't wear it. It's a Grand Seiko quartz. Super awesome watch.
That might be something that
I'm kind of over. Like the what?
The 39 millimeter.
Yeah, it's a 39 mil. It's the Grand Seiko SBGN003 black dial GMT quartz. Super accurate. 10 seconds a year, plus or minus. Phenomenal. And I just had the battery changed. So that brings us to the topic, social media, and how does it affect you as a collector enthusiast purchaser? And I want some comments. If you guys, the 4 or 5 people that are watching and commenting, let us know. And we'll come back to the comments in a minute. We may not get them right away because we're going to chat a little bit. But I want to know, do you ever feel like you have to keep up with the Joneses? And I hope everybody knows what I mean. Like, and I know I am guilty. I'm going to raise my hand right now. I am guilty. I see people posting their RJ Martins. I have to then go grab my RJ Martin collection, and I got to post pictures of it. Or somebody posts a cool, whatever brand. If I've got it, I got to kind of go get my stuff, and I've got to post a picture that's equal or better, maybe. So I get caught up in that hype.
I'd like to think I'm like the James Dean of knife collecting, where I really don't give a damn what other people will post. I just post like a Spyderco or a Kershaw or a full custom. I just don't care. I like old stuff. That's another thing too. Like as much as
Mike
keeping up with the Chens. Oh my God, that is great.
Good one, Mike.
That threw me off.
And I do try to just post, like, a lot of times when I'm posting hey, this is what I'm carrying today on Instagram, that truly is what I'm carrying. Mm-hmm. It really is. I don't say, hey, this is what I'm carrying, and then I go change and put different stuff. Like, I really do try not to do that, and post truly what I am wearing or carrying that day. But yeah, I like the likes, like most people, right? I don't want to post something and get like 3 likes, and that's yeah.
Mike was saying earlier that he didn't buy this thing because he stopped watching videos. Well,
I give it to Mike.
I had a knockdown drag out battle with a chair.
Hey, Troy.
At Blade Show.
Oh, geez.
Oh, yeah. Look at
that. So Israel came in clutch, and I got a new clip. So I'm going to be breaking this thing apart here in the next couple days. But yeah, cool. I definitely feel like you do have to keep up. Like there will be times where I'm not feeling so hot or what have you, and I'll take, sometimes 2, 3, 4, 5 days and not do anything. And it's amazing how quickly people just stop paying any attention. If you're not posting something every single day, your interaction rates go way, way down.
Yeah, that's something I don't know anything about because I post once every week or 2 weeks.
Right?
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah. Because, like it's one of those things. Like if you're building a knife catalog, I think it's a cool thing to do. If you've got the supply to keep up and do it, right? Like how Dirk does it, it's unbelievable the amount of stuff that comes in continuously. Like
I'm
it's
lucky. I am
never
lucky.
ending. Never
Well, it
ending.
gets a little sketchy at times, but that's when I call Alex, and then he slaps a box together really quick and sends me something. But that's even becoming difficult
Right.
because he's loaned me so much. He's now asking me, "Hey, did I send you this? Did I send
Yeah,
you
I
that?"
remember.
So
Oh,
we're
wow.
having trouble figuring out what he can or can't send to me anymore. So I'm the unusual one because I have so many friends sending me stuff nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
That I am able to do a video a day still, although I have been rethinking the daily videos.
I've just kind of lost motivation to do daily videos. The mood will strike me and I'll do a video. And then a few days will go by and maybe I'll do a video. And then some random Chinese company will reach out to me and offer me zombie hunter stuff. And I'll show zombie hunter stuff because I'm cheap. I just sell my soul for an axe.
Yeah, I get that. So then, so the influencers, as Mike said earlier, that we are influential. I never consider myself an influencer, but there are people that are doing YouTube full time, and they're doing 1, 2, 3 videos a day, right? Which is cool, awesome. And are they being true to themselves and the products?
Well, it's like, okay, so first of all, I want to say I kind of feel like I grew up on a different time when it came to knives. Like I was brought up like 10, like early, like 2012 ish. So when I started interacting in Facebook groups and forums and collecting stuff, and like at that time, it was one of those things. If you started like making fun of people, you were shunned. If you were like, there was like a certain etiquette like that for the vast majority, and then as it started to grow, and I want to say from like 2013 to like 2015 was a substantial boom. After that, even now up to 2020, after that, it's even like unbelievably huge now. Like it gets to the point where like if that's what your channel's about, like all the new latest and greatest, that's going to get you the most views because that's what people are like Googling and searching and, wanting to see, right? Like in my case, I have a lot of old stuff and I just kind of feel like I'm more into the educating, like the philosophy of collecting and like what, maybe stuff you won't get to see because it is old stuff. And, so my stuff may not get searched very much, but I enjoy doing it.
I agree. I am not here to, and I've said this on my main channel, and I think we've talked about it here too. I have a day job. I've got a real job, and I like my normal job most days. Let's be honest. I don't care if I make money on YouTube or not. So I just do what I do as well. And a lot of my stuff is old because I'm using Alex's stuff, or I'm using my stuff that I bought years ago. Or I'm just have a friend that just sends me some of his old collection. And old doesn't mean old, but 9 months old. Not super relevant today, right?
If it's from me, it could be much older than that.
Oh yeah, I've done videos on stuff that's like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
And I don't care. I'm like, for me, I just wanted to show all the knives for the most part and just have a vast catalog, if you will. And I don't care if I get a bunch of views and all this stuff, really. I mean, sure, in the back of our minds, we all like to see the view count go up.
Mm-hmm.
We all like to see the subscriber count go up. I mean, we do like those, right? But it's not what I drive for. And I just tell you like it is, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
But I think if you do like that daily race of like posting a lot, like, and you get those types of subscribers, like the ones that are fiending for content, you know, like I tend to think those are the ones that don't stick around for the long haul. And I like the ones that I get because I really rarely ever see my number ever drop at all. It's always just gaining and gaining, and they just stay there and stay there. I just keep my little tight crowd, and I see the same dudes coming to the same videos and posting comments. And then now, like, I'm doing firearms too. Like, I'm trying to branch out and do more other stuff. So
are you gonna change your name again?
So I think I'm gonna add like
no. The answer is no. The correct answer would just be no.
Gear review on the bottom of Watching Cut, you know, Watching Cut channel gear review.
Okay, as a whole, like, channel change thing, or just like on the bottom of your logo?
Just on the bottom of my logo.
Okay, perfect. Thank God.
Yeah.
But not the channel.
What, man, dude? Some people have changed their names like 3, 4, 5, 6 times. I only did it once. And I like all my old content to start from scratch.
I know.
So I wanted to revisit all those knives again with some editing skills, which I'm not even editing lately. I just haven't had time for it.
And I like your editing stuff. I just watched the one. Which one was it? I don't know. It had that's what she said in it a couple times. Sorry, that doesn't narrow it down at all. But no, I like your editing stuff. And I loved your comment about you have your like regular people that come in and make their similar comments on similar videos. That's what it's about for me too, is building a community of regular people that come into these live streams that I become friends with and I talk to. Like, I have viewers that I maybe talk to a couple times a week, just Facebook messaging, Instagram messaging, you know, whatever. Like that aspect is kind of hard for me, is keeping track of, because some people I talk to in email, some people it's Instagram, some people it's Facebook, and that's a little tough for me to then track people back down and respond, like, you know.
Right.
But that's what it's about for me, is really building a community. And I've got some great people I call friends now that are just viewers, as well as the friends that are content people like Alex and Jim Skelton, and Doom is becoming close and we chat a lot. So that's really what it's about for me. But I think we can get too hyped up on social media, and it can really be detrimental to us just mentally.
So which platform do you guys think is in the most influential for you?
For me, I think it's Facebook groups.
Okay, good one.
Because one, I don't watch a lot of YouTube stuff anymore. Like, I don't watch any knife stuff for the most part. I watch Alex's stuff. I watch some of Doom's stuff. I watch some of Jim Skelton's. Sorry, Jim. I think I've told you that in person, that I only watch some. Because I don't want to watch a lot of stuff like on the Narrows, the Benchmade Narrows. I have one on loan, and it's the new hyped up, you know, Benchmade, overpriced maybe knife. So I don't want to watch a lot of other people's opinions. I want to form my own opinion. But in the Facebook groups, there are a lot of people posting pictures and this and that, and I start to get a little bit keeping up with the Joneses or the Chens. Like, I feel like I need to kind of do that because of the Facebook groups. What about you, Doom?
For me, it's definitely Instagram. I've kind of eliminated Facebook from my life. I don't use it all that much anymore.
Okay.
So the majority of my interaction is all done through Insta, but I have such a type, I guess you could say. I have a type. I love my space knives.
Yeah.
Love my weird stuff. And not a day goes by that I'm not getting a message from somebody saying, yo, check out this custom knife builder I found that's doing this, or check out this, or check out this, or check out this. And I'm sitting there and my wallet starts sweating and I'm shaking. I'm going, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. And then I usually wind up doing it anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Detroit here says that Dirk gets most of his inspiration from WhatsApp groups. I have a group chat with Detroit and a couple of other buddies. It's called the Four Amigos. And yes, they do give me some inspiration, and there is some peer pressure in that group as well, and things like that. And then Mike says that reviews of knives is his most influential for me in terms of what I buy. So that's a great question to Aussie Mike now based on this comment. And since it's his day off, I know he's going to hang around and be able to answer this. Mm-hmm. So let's say you see a knife. Like, let's just take the Benchmade Narrows, Aussie Mike. You see a video on this. Do you watch like 5 or 6 videos to try to get other people's opinions? And then maybe you decide to buy it, or maybe you don't? Or do you watch one particular guy who's your favorite, call it YouTube X, because we don't want to name names of people, whatever. And then do you just take Mr. X's opinion, who says it's great and you should buy it? Or do you look at like 5 or 6 different people's video? Kind of a good question to everybody. I always recommend, don't just listen to me. Go watch 3 other videos and see what they say. Because I may love the Narrows just because it happens to be here in my hand, or I may hate it, but Alex might like it and Du might like it. So you have to kind of understand who you vibe with. Like, I know, like Jim Skelton. If Jim Skelton says, hey, he really likes a knife, generally I'll like it because I've bought knives from his recommendation in the past, and it hasn't steered me wrong, if that makes sense. Like, to me, he's a trusted value because we have the same kind of opinions and
everybody's got their go-tos, right?
Yes.
But for me, like, it depends. If it's a knife that I already know I want and I just want to peek at it, I might just look at one video just to put like video on it versus a 2D picture, right?
Yes.
And that might be all I need, and I don't give a shit what the reviewer is really saying. But
agreed.
If I'm on the fence, then that's when I'm like, all right, let me like see what this guy thinks and what this guy thinks, then that would be the time where I would look at multiple opinions.
Yeah, and I think Aussie Mike says, yes, he watches multiple reviews before he buys something. And I think that a lot of people do that. Sometimes you can't. It's just hey, there's a pre-order. There are no videos on it. And if it's something that you like from a maker that you like or a company that you like, hey, by all means, go ahead and buy it. Like, I'm not saying you need to watch videos before you buy something. Like, I know that I like RJ Martin. So if he came out with a Q36 of something new, I'd be like, yeah, sure, I'm all in. I don't need to watch videos on it because I'm already a fan, if you will.
Yeah, but I think the best strategy when it comes to collecting, I mean, the way I try to do it is if you look at videos and you try to keep up with all the knife channels, you're in 2013, back then when I started, it was very few, right? Like there was Jim, there was Nut and Fancy Project, there was Nick Shabazz was coming out, and like there was a few.
Yes, it was
and
different.
That was about it. Now there is gazillion channels. There is, it's just unbelievable,
it's
right?
A bit crazy.
And that's not a bad thing, but
no,
it made me actually kind of turn off the feelers because it was almost like overload. Like look at my phone's like fucking 235, like new videos today. I'm like, I gotta, so.
Have you ever You have an iPhone, right, Alex?
Yep.
Have you ever looked at your screen time matrix thing? Like you get a report on Sunday morning.
Yes.
I do. And I don't look at it all the time, but sometimes I do look at it and it tells you that, hey, you were on your phone 10 hours yesterday. And then it kind of breaks it down by which apps you were on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you see like YouTube, 6 hours, and Facebook 3 hours, and Instagram 2 hours, and then you were in your Photos app for like an hour and a half, or like, it's interesting to look at that sometimes. And this kind of goes up to a comment that we got from Tom earlier. This says sometimes social media becomes a bit overwhelming, and when this happens, it's best to take a few days off.
That was the comment that kind of stood out to me too.
I think that's great advice, Tom.
Yep.
We don't have to be connected every 27 seconds. I'm guilty. I post a lot of stupid memes. I post a lot of like watching knife pictures and like out by the beach and like just stupid stuff. But
I always liked it like in the early days.
Take a day off.
I like those channels in the early days that would spend more time on the production, and they would come out every so often, because when they did make a video and you get that notification, it was a treat. It's like, oh, he made, Advanced Knife Bro made a video. Oh, great, this is gonna be good, right? Like, and he's kind of like that before, where he was posting once a month or every 2 weeks at some point, kind of like similar, I guess pace that I was doing. And then but it would be exciting for me each and every time. But then as you get those notifications like every day, like 2 or 3 or 4 or 4, 5, 6, for like 20 channels, you're like, dude, I gotta turn this shit off. Because it's natural for the human to like want to go see what the fuck's going on. Like, you don't want to miss out.
Yes.
And that's the problem, is those notifications. You see, those notifications are the thing.
Set my phone to go into do not disturb at 7 p.m. Eastern time until 7 a.m. So 12 hours from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. I get no notifications.
That's a smart way to do it too. And that I think really helps us maintain our mental, wherewithal, if you will. Because I'm connected all the time. I get notifications at night. I ignore them at night. I go to sleep and it doesn't bother me. But 9 o'clock at night, I'm watching TV and ding, I get a notification. I gotta go look at it. I gotta go deal with it.
Yeah, my problem is my phone would be sitting on the nightstand going bird.
And then your wife's getting upset and like this and that. And yeah. EDC for Fun says, Dennis, he gets a lot of comments from people who just bought something, because EDC for Fun has his own channel, looking for confirmation that they made a good purchase.
Yes. That's a funny concept, actually. That's a funny concept. So the way I picture this one is like, so you like just went on and you clicked buy now, right? You just bought that shit. You're not shopping. You already committed.
You just committed.
Shoes already, like, here's your order number.
Yep.
It's in your email. The shit's done.
Yep.
So now you're picturing this thing is in the box and it's on its way to you, and you're like, all right, I want to enjoy this shit.
And then you go Google.
So you go and you get on your computer and you pull up YouTube. You're like, I need to search the RD Wells, the blah, blah, blah. And then, boom, all the videos. You're like, nah, I didn't like that video. He was too negative. Let me get to the next one.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he likes it too. I like this one. Yeah.
And you spend 3 hours watching every video that's on the knife that you already bought.
And then the next morning, I email Blade HQ with the tail between my legs. I say, you know what?
Cancel the order.
Cancel the order.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thing. Ant says he's trying so hard to control my knife purchases, and social media makes it so hard. So, Ant, what is it about social media that's making it hard? Is it YouTube videos telling you to do it or saying, hey, this is a great thing, and so that it's hard to not buy it? Is it just people posting on Instagram or Facebook? If you could elaborate a little bit, I think
it's probably all you a-holes like posting,
and it may be all of the
all the
above.
time.
I've got a funny story from Blade Show. I was wandering down one of the aisles, and there was this dude standing at one of the stands talking to a maker. And the dude who was talking to the maker was, I guess he was trying to establish his street cred, because he was going off on this tangent about, I don't take pictures of my knives. These guys that buy their knives and all they do is put the pictures on the Instagrammers, and then taking the pictures, I take mine out and I use it, and then maybe I'll stick it in a tree and take a picture of it. And I wanted to tap him on the shoulder and be like, you seem to know quite a bit about these dudes posting pictures. So you must be looking at quite a few of those pictures. So just cool it off a little bit. Let people enjoy what they enjoy. But
that's true.
The pictures,
and pictures are okay. We all are guilty of it. We all like it. Haven't you guys seen those memes of like the guy taking a picture of his knife and he's like
out of the
squatting
beach
with his ass up in the air?
I've got some weird pictures that I was trying to get in Hawaii on the beach of the battle and things like that, and it's kind of goofy. And my girlfriend rolls her freaking eyes when I pull something out to take a picture. Yes. And I've gotten good at it though. Like I'll post something after we go to a restaurant or something, and there's a picture of my knife, a picture of my watch, and all that stuff. She goes, when the hell did you take those pictures? I'm like, you were sitting right there. She goes, oh my. So I've kind of gotten it pretty slick now. But Tom says he doesn't do pre-orders. He waits because pre-orders suck. Our aunt agrees. Pre-orders suck. But he'll do drops, and then the drops disappear in like 10 seconds, 5 seconds. Yeah. I hate the drops like that myself. Watch 6-2. He blames me for always showing the Hellraiser. I can go grab one. They're right over there on the table.
I just got
the Hellraisers are great.
Too. The Hellraisers are just
great. The production ones are great. The customs are great. Ed is a great guy to chat with, the owner of Red Horse Knife Works and all of that. It's just great. I'd rather wait for the knife and pay a little less than chase a knife in a drop or on the secondary. I agree. The drops, they don't do it for me. I don't like the drops that are sold out in a minute. I just don't like it. A lot of times it's fake hype, honestly. In my opinion.
Yeah.
I like what Israel's been doing through Arcane Design. What he's been doing after, he did his first few knives, and those were pre-order only. And then his next few knives were a hybrid. You could either pre-order and pay the whole thing, or you could pay half up front and half when it came in. And now on his last two knives, he's basically he puts out a survey and says, are you interested? Are you planning to buy? What style are you planning to buy? And he makes that order based off of that survey.
Okay.
And plus a little bit extra.
Yeah.
And then when it comes in, like a week before he starts doing QC, he then says, okay, I'm putting them up, and this is basically, you're getting it. They're in my hands. I just have to QC and send it to you. That's
cool. Ant also does what you do, Doom, so to speak. He puts a timer on Facebook and Instagram so that he, limits. I think that's great. I'm taking all of these comments to heart because I might have a little problem. I do. Like, I'm too connected, and sometimes it is an issue. I find myself, scrolling through my phone for random reasons when I should be doing something else. Not work stuff, but like I could be doing yard stuff or like cleaning the car, like stuff that I should probably be doing. I don't know. You know what I mean?
It sucks you in, man.
James Moore,
you
Wilson
see one thing
in the
and
house.
then you see something else.
Well, you know how it's good to like avoid that is to once you start collecting some knives, you start to get into a groove of things. You start figuring out what you like what's your thing,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
And you just kind of stick to that. And I think when you do
Mhm.
that, the Joneses become less apparent because you're not looking for guidance anymore. You're kind of like you look around just to see what they have, if there's anything that's in your genre of things, but then that's pretty much it. You don't have to buy everything anymore.
Yeah, for me, it's pretty
I
much.
agree.
I have my handful of brands now. Forever Steel, Reich,
Hmm.
Max Ace, District 9. These brands, and Arcane. Those
Hmm.
I can count them all on one hand, and
That's great.
those are the ones that I look for. And if one's doing a drop, what really killed me was in January when all 5 of them did drops. And I
Yeah.
had to have all of them. But for the most part, yeah, it's like I
I
might buy a knife every 6 months now.
No, I
Yeah,
agree,
I'm
and
kind of like
that's
slowed down a
great.
lot too.
I've
You know,
slowed down a ton, both in watches and knives. Um, I think when you start collecting something, whatever it is, watches, knives, tennis shoes, baseball hats, baseball cards, whatever the collection, it doesn't even matter. These are
Mhm.
universal truths, I think. Social media and how it plays in. And when you first get into something, you're buying a lot of the more inexpensive stuff because you want a bunch of watches. For me,
Yeah.
I bought a bunch of Seikos, 200-300 bucks. Boom, boom, boom. Buy. And then I realized, hey, those are great and I like them, but what's something a little more expensive or a little nicer? And I started to refine my watches. I sold a bunch of Seikos off to buy something a little bit more. And so, same with the knives. I've kind of sold off I started with a bunch of Benchmades way back. Spider Cousin Benchmades. I had a Benchmade dealer that was a buddy of my brother's. So I got a great deal. Bought a bunch of them. Got them cheap. Got to experience a bunch of Benchmades. And then sold and traded those off and then worked my way up the food chain, so to speak.
Mhm.
Here's a comment from Al says the custom knife market would be much smaller if it wasn't for social media.
absolutely
Absolutely.
right.
Yeah.
Like we need social media or else you would never know that Maker X existed oftentimes. I didn't know about a lot of these smaller makers like Mike over at American Blade Works. I didn't know who they were.
Well,
If it
I
Yeah,
hadn't
think
been
like
for
at
unless you're
social
going
media.
to
social,
the trade shows, you would never know they existed.
Exactly. So
yeah,
it's
like
a necessary piece.
it takes the taboo away from the
Hmm.
knives. I think without social media, there would be more like how it was in the 90s, like they were just like gun shows. You just go in like certain times of the year and certain ones, like 2 or 3 of them. And like you may or may have not heard of any of these knife makers. And there's some knife shows that they still have kind of here in California with like more like on the slip joint side, like just the real old school, like
Hmm.
old timer, gray beard guys. And I still go to a couple of those, and you'll never see like Pena there. You'll never see
Right.
like, I did see Mike Vagnino there. Um,
Okay.
he's a custom maker, and also he does the Terravantium stuff. That's his company
Mhm.
too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So he was there, but he comes from those old style be kind of upbringings too. So kind of cool stuff like that. But it just all depends on like what inspires you, And then there's people who want quality and there's people who want quantity, and I think both are okay. There's a
Both are
time,
totally okay.
Yeah.
yeah, there's a time where I'm like, I rather buy like a Benchmade like with like a bar lock, and then I want to buy a Hogue with a bar lock. I want to like learn about bar locks, and I want to learn about frame locks, and
Yep. I don't think there's
so
a wrong
yeah,
way to collect.
Mhm.
nope.
No, it's really just whatever makes you happy and what you can afford.
The
Yeah,
only
always.
wrong way is if you try to keep up with the Joneses too much.
Yes.
That'll drive you insane.
you have to be able to afford the hobby. I don't want anybody to feel like they need to keep up with the Joneses or the Chens and go broke doing it, or put a lot of stuff on credit cards and pay a bunch of interest. And like, you have to make financially sound decisions for your
Trying to catch
self
some
and
flies over there, Alex.
your family and all of that. And Detroit calls me, I'm not a good influence because I buy a new Fisher Custom on the regular. It's been a bad year. 2023. I've had 3 new Fishers. Like 2 were used, 1 was brand new. But yes, I bought 3 this year. One of them from Luck Knives, who's here in the chat, the Fury, which is over here. And then the Canadian beater battle, and then this new prototype battle. So I think I'm done buying.
I think I could find an early video of you saying, oh yeah, I'm not going to buy anything this year, somewhere in one of our other episodes early in 2023.
Yeah, this was supposed to be my year of saving. Now I'm still saving. I'm still looking at houses. I went on an open house yesterday, right here down the street. Not a bad little thing. You don't want to know about prices here in Napa, so we won't even go there. Nope. But yeah, I'm trying to slow down. Like, yeah, it's not working so well.
I went to Blade Show and I set a $0 limit. You all saw how well that went.
$0 limit.
I don't know that I would go. Like, I have not been to Blade Show. I've been to knife shows. I purposely don't go to Blade Show yet. One, because it's on the other side of the country for me, and it's kind of quite expensive to be there for 3 or 4 days and all that stuff. But I don't. It's too many people for me, and
I don't. A lot of people,
and there's a bunch of the knucklehead YouTube people that I don't necessarily love, and things like that I don't necessarily want to run into. Like,
you barely even see them.
I don't know that I'm going to go to Blade. I'm thinking of going to Blade West this year.
Yeah.
In Utah. I have my best friends in Utah, and a couple other good friends are in Utah. So it's always a good time to go to Utah, and I have a place to stay and all that stuff. So I may do Blade West. I will probably do California Custom Knife Show down in Southern California, because that's when I get to see, that's about the only time I really get to see my good buddy Alex. So it's always worth it to go down there, even though last time we really only could go to breakfast. But sometimes timing doesn't work out for him or me, but I'm not a big go to the show kind of guy. I like the smaller shows, not as many people and stuff. So,
yeah.
Let's see what Tom says here. He goes, if you think you have a problem with buying too much due to YouTube videos, you probably do. Understand there's always going to be another bigger or better one coming out.
Well, and but here,
yes.
So this is a good point, because what he's saying could do 2 things to you. It could freak you out, or you could choose it to let it be comforting. Because you're going to miss out on this one-time run of really rare chamois front flippers by Gareth Bull, and damn it, Yep. But he's going to make more knives. So who cares?
There's always going to be another knife, guys. Even with the prototype battle, there's going to be more battles. I'm friends with Todd Sr. He's told me if I want him to build me something, just ask and he'll build me something. So I could have passed on this easily and bought one later. There's always going to be
live that down.
Another.
Yeah, you had those little devils sitting on your shoulder.
I did. I didn't have a little devil and an angel. I had 2 devils.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Luck Knives
is poking him in the ear. Get it.
He's lost the FOMO, the fear of missing out. He don't really bother me, and with drops and lottos anymore. I agree. I'm over a lot of the FOMO stuff in general. One, because I'm going to probably get to see the knife anyway, because it's probably one of my buddies that bought it and he's going to send it to me to check out and film anyway. So I'm in a little bit of a unique position. I don't need to buy and own more knives because I have a bunch and I love everything that I own. So I agree.
I'm always saying that I need to thin out my herd, that the pile of knives over here. And every time I sit down and start trying to categorize them as to keepers, traders, sellers, I always wind up moving them all over into the keeper pile. I'm like, I like this one, but I like this one.
Aussie Mike says he's naturally attracted to shiny metal things. He falls in love and he buys. Now he's buying precious metals. That's not a bad thing to do. And I've thought about doing that. And I have some friends that buy a lot of gold and silver and stuff. I may talk to you on the side because I don't know how or what best to do that. So I may do some of that because you don't know financially where the world is going to be and things like that. Is cash king? Is that, I don't know.
The way the world's going, man, canned
just
food
never
is
know.
going to be king. You got a can of peaches. Well, you're going to be the king.
Yeah, and then Mike follows that up with another comment. His collection sequence is perfect. He's got a blank load of knives and swords to protect his precious metal collection. I would still like to get a samurai sword. I don't have one. I would really like one. I saw one on Facebook for sale the other day. It was like $2,300, $3,000, something like that. I don't want something cheap, something or other. I want something decent, but yeah, at some point I will get like a set, right? They've got the longer sword and the smaller sword and stuff. I don't even know that much about them, but I would love to get samurai swords at some point.
Talk to Samurai Bird.
I think I watch his channel a little bit, but I've never talked to him.
Awesome dude. He'll steer you in the right direction.
Oh, wait a second here. Ant says he's talking about watches now. He was able to apply what I learned in the knife hobby to my newish watch obsession.
All right.
Quality over quantity. Yeah, that's one thing I would just recommend. I don't like to give a lot of advice, but I think quality is better than just buying a bunch of $50 items. Instead of buying $5 $50 or $10 $50 items, buy one $500 item. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So that would be my advice. And what watches are you getting into? You got a couple of watch people in this group chats and stuff. So interested.
Watches never.
Love my American Blade Works Model 1. Purchased at Blade 2023. Great dude and wife. Yeah, he's super cool dude. I've talked to him a bunch. But I don't own any. I kind of want to get the Model 2. I like that one better than the Model 1 myself. And the one that I had a video on had a couple of, not flaws, but it was a first run. And he was, when I talked to him about the couple of issues that I saw, he goes, yeah, we're fixing that in the second batch. So at some point, I'm going to try to get a second run Model 2 to kind of compare. All right, let me go through some of these comments. Where are you at, Alex? What do you got? Or Doom, what else do you got for us? Because I'm not sure you've talked much as our special guest here.
No, I mean, I really the only things I have lately are all my Blade Show snags. Like, I've been playing with the cyber tricks right now. I finally got my hand on
I saw a picture
tricks.
of that. That looks cool.
I got the cyber tricks. I got the other version of the Atheron. We got the purple one somewhere too, somewhere in the pile. But
looks like a gladiator sword.
Yeah, I got that one. That's the Model A on that. One of the big ones that I really like is another one of the Katuos, is the Griffin. This is another first design by a dude, and this is one of those, has every deployment method under the sun, button locks, but it actually locks up and it does everything it's supposed to do, and it does it really well while looking like a space laser beam, which that's what really got me. So, and then,
Luck, are you going to have a table at Blade West? If I come out to Blade West, I'll definitely hook up with you. Luck is in the military and he's being transferred or transferring or whatever. He's going to be in Utah. He's in Vegas now, moving to Utah.
Didn't you just move? Didn't you just move, man?
I think he's been in Vegas for a while. I think he might have already moved. Like he's moving, I think, the end of June, if I remember what he told me last time.
Yeah, he was prepping the move.
Utah.
I remember.
He's been prepping. Yeah.
Okay.
Al, this is a good point. There won't be another Frank battle for a while. This is true. And I've already kind of started some discussions, and I may get the first Frank battle once Frank is making battles again. We'll see how that turns out. I know. I'm already planning for the future purchases. What the hell is wrong with me?
Luck is moving in 2 weeks.
God. Good God, what am I doing?
I don't even know what to say about that one.
Yeah, I don't know. What else here? Look at Dawson Knives. Dirk.
Oh yeah, Dawson Knives are pretty cool.
Knives, swords in Magna Cut. Okay, I'll look.
Swords in Magna Cut.
Bird is a good dude. I'm thinking he's talking about Samurai Bird.
Yep.
Get Todd Fraser to build a battle sword. What the hell? Get Todd Senior to build you a battle sword.
That would be freaking wicked, man.
I mean, that's the beauty of working with custom makers like the Fishers and specifically Todd Senior, because he actually forges his own Damascus a lot of times. So he has all of that equipment and whatnot. He could probably forge out a bigger fixed blade. Like, I don't know about sword length, but like maybe that's an interesting concept.
Machete size battle. That would be fantastic.
Is Magna Cut good for swords? I don't know. Luck has a American Blade Works Model 2 coming. Nice. What other than the fact that you want a samurai sword on the, and honestly, what in the world are you going to do with it? All right, so here Tom says, hey, other than the fact that you want a samurai sword, what in the world are you going to do with it? Absolutely nothing. I'm going to do exactly with a samurai sword what I do with Jim Skelton's mini Hellraiser that he built. I'm going to, not exactly, the samurai sword would get hung on the wall. This just hangs out on the table.
That's a cool little knife.
I don't carry it, but it glows in the dark. That green glows in the dark. I had to buy it. Jim knows my number. He gets me every freaking time. Sent me a video, texted me a video of that glowing in the dark, and he goes, hey, I've got this available.
Got this thingy that does the thingy.
So no, I wouldn't do anything with a samurai sword other than collect it. I don't know. Yeah, we're a funny group of people, aren't we? Yes, luck gets me a historic katana. It'd be cool. Like, right?
Yeah.
So would a cannon.
Ant says he
like
just
a
picked up
historical cannon.
A Tissot I don't know how to pronounce that. And my wife got me a meteorite dial Zodiac Super Seawolf for his birthday. I think I'm good for a while.
They got that one, huh?
The Super Seawolf
I saw advertisement.
Cool night watch. And Tissot, Alex has a Tissot that he loaned me. Very cool. My Omega dealer here in Napa is a Tissot dealer, so I've seen several Tissots, and I like them. Is that the?
And I'm actually wearing a Super Seawolf myself today. So there you go.
Aussie Mike, thank you. He's emailed me a picture of a Japanese Wakasashi, I think is how you pronounce that sword. I'll look at that after the show. But yeah, I may get into. I would really like the katana and the Wakasashi. Like I just I've wanted one of those since like a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Luck's moving in 2 weeks. I think somebody said that already. Oh, Ron Best makes katanas. Ooh.
Dirk's gonna get a katana, and we're
I'm
like, he makes some pretty cool stuff. That guy.
I think social media has kind of influenced my collecting today. This is like interactive social media. You guys suck. What other comments we got here? Oh, okay, we're back to no comments. Good. All right. Yeah, decoration, Mike says. Aussie Mike says decoration is what the samurai swords are for. Nothing more, nothing less. And
It's
yes,
like
Stacy,
Kill Bill.
doesn't everybody want a sword?
Well, I think it's because everybody forgot. They're all distracted with the aliens, and they all forgot just in case the zombie apocalypse comes out.
Yes,
You're
Aussie
gonna
Mike
need a
nailed
sword.
it. With friends like you, I don't need anybody to tell me not to do something.
Exactly. I've got people daily saying, "Yo, look at this! Look at this! Look at this! This is so you. Go get it! Go get it!" And then I have to fight my inner demons to not go get it.
I have bought things like that as well, like over the years. Like I see somebody that has something like the Phil Harvey Peacemaker.
Mm-hmm.
Once I saw that, I kind of had to have one, right? And it took a couple of years, and then I got one. I started talking with Phil back and forth, and he goes, "Hey, I'll put you on the list. I'm finishing one up, and I'll do yours next," type of thing or whatever. I didn't have to
I
wait like
know
3
because
years.
I got yours in hand, and I'm now on his list.
Correct. Yeah, and Phil's a great guy to work with. I mean, some people have said they've had to wait like 3 years.
Yeah.
It was maybe 6 months, I think, and he reached out and says, "Hey, I'm going to finish this up or something."
Yeah, I don't know when it's going to be done. I just know that I'm on the list.
And are you going to get the Peacemaker or?
I'm getting what he's dubbed the Jurassic Peacemaker.
Yeah, with the hump thing on the back.
The 4.5 pound one.
Yeah, he's made 1 or 2 of those already.
Yeah.
One of my buddies had one, and I almost bought it from him, but I decided I didn't need that. My 2+ pounder Peacemaker was enough. Is this Lux's my Midgard Messer Thunrar XXL is basically a short sword. Do I need it? Hell no, but I wanted it. I remember that one. And then Midgard has the new Fenrir, something, I think.
Yeah, Fenris.
That's like a folding sword. It's like 12-inch blade or something like that in a folder.
I saw that.
It was all over a blade. I wanted one, but it's like 400 something bucks. And
that's cheaper than I expected, actually.
Yeah, it's not bad. I'm going to still reach out to him. It's fine. His name is Dirk also. So we do have that connection. And maybe I can get him to send me one. And then I don't know. Or if somebody's buying one, I always take loaners. I love that. So I would love
I'm
to
not buying one of those things. It's cool, but yeah, I like weird stuff and different stuff. But I literally would have nowhere to take that thing.
Oh, I'd have nowhere to take it either. And I've kind of been rethinking some of my collection, right? Like if I can never carry it and never really utilize it, like of course you're always going to have a few collector pieces that you don't really use, but how many collector pieces can you really have? Like a sword on the wall, okay, you spend the money and you put it on the wall. But I don't know, like the fancy knives that I have, the battles and things like that, I carry them.
That's the same with me. Everything that I have goes in my pocket.
I just carry them. I mean, and when I go to the shows, I think the Peacemaker is going to be my show knife. Yeah. And I'm going to put that in my pocket when I go to shows.
It's totally a conversation starter.
Dude,
what
so many people
that loud pocket clip sticking out of your pocket.
So many people at California Custom Knife Show, when I was carrying that around, were like, dude, what's in your, like, what is that? And then I pull it out and they were like, oh my God. Yeah, so it was super conversation-y and stuff. So I carried that and the VC Edge interface. So I had my heaviest knife and my lightest knife with me. So it is a good contrast. That may be my go-to knife show carry. I don't know.
I think that's a good plan.
Yeah. Oh, Metal Aussie Mike says, bad news for me. Herman will be doing some Venoms in Magna Cut. So Mike is a Magna Cut whore. Like, if it comes in Magna Cut, he buying it. I could make a toothpick out of Magna Cut. He'd probably buy it. So he may be buying some more knives that you'll get to probably see here, because most of what he buys is in the States. So he sends it to me. I film it. I collect them all. I ship them to Florida to a freight forwarder who then ships them down to the land down under. At some point, I would love to take a trip to Australia.
Yeah, me too.
My company has an office there in Sydney. So maybe I could say, if we do a remodel or something there, maybe I'd have to fly down and check it out. I don't know. But then I'd have to take like a week off and then jump over to New Zealand while I'm there. Because they say if you go to Australia, you better jump over to New Zealand.
See, I'm a total simp for folded metals. The zircotai, the Timascus, Damasteels, things like that. If it's got folded metal on it, I'm like, I need to have that.
I think we all have our things, right? That we appreciate and, we just like, right or wrong. So did we answer or get anywhere on the social media thing? I think we did. I think we got some good points out there.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah. I mean, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. You're going to see a bunch of shit. You're going to see all your friends getting cool shit, and you're going to want one too. But just try to have a plan. If you don't want to like get sucked into like all that stuff, then have a plan. Like, well, I want, like I want like 3 production knives from Emerson, and then I want 2 customs, and then I want like a mid-range special edition one, right? Like, so then you do that, and then you move on to your next brand, right? That's how I do things anyways. Like,
yeah, you have to filter the noise.
Yeah,
is really what it boils down to.
And somebody may say something is crappy, and you may discover it's not as crappy as they said after all. So if you have a spidey sense, like, oh, that thing looks pretty cool, give it a try. If not, sell it anyways. But just don't let everybody like determine on like how you do things. And I think my biggest social media platform that I like is obviously YouTube, because I like the creator and the editing side of things is the hobby part for me. I like watching video editing a lot. But I just could never get into like the 4 or 5 hour lives. It's just not what I do. I think they're cool. Like it's fun for people, but I have my limitations.
Is it fun for people, or is it just people rambling? Like, we're at 1 hour and 12 minutes, and I think we've kind of gone too long.
Yeah, so, well, I mean, everybody's different.
I think we're kind of on the edge. These people that go for 3, 4, 5 hours. I
don't know how they do it. I tend to run out of things at about the 20-minute mark, and then start playing off of comments.
Right.
Yeah. So, and I think you made a good point, Alex, of just because one person says it's the greatest thing in the world or it's the worst thing in the world really doesn't matter.
Hey, go for it.
Because we all have our own opinions, and there's things that Alex has that he loves that he sends to me, and I look at it, and I don't necessarily have anything negative about it, but I don't love it like he does, and vice versa. So there's nothing wrong. Like, listen to a lot of people and then make your own decisions, and you'll get into the point where you click with somebody, and you then believe what they say, and you understand that because you've bought some of the things that they've recommended or mentioned, and you're like, yeah, I really do like those things. So then you kind of get a relationship with that video person or that Facebook or Instagram person, maybe.
I mean, it's as human beings, we're all creatures that want to belong, right? Like, we all like to belong to our social norms and social things. And I think the part where we go wrong sometimes is where we think that because we disagree, we can't be friends, and and sometimes people go that direction, you're like, well, what do you mean that thing sucks? And
that
I don't know. That's I mean, you guys know what I mean, right?
Yeah, we have to be able to agree to disagree. So what is that you got there,
This
Doom?
is the Elijah Isham designed Fanatic Edge Omen full dress. It's got the Zerkatai backspacer and clip. It's got the custom milling on both sides, and then the Damasteel blade.
That's nice, man. I used to own one of those a long time ago. I had it was the V1 actually. And it was all green and two-tone polish on the handle in M390. That was a really beautiful knife. The only thing I couldn't really get myself around, probably the only reason why I sold it, I couldn't get my hand in there, man. It was so like kind of awkward for me.
That's strange, because I have no problem with it. It just kind of falls in there. But then again, one of my missions, we're talking about collecting and so on. One of my missions is to get every single design that Elijah Isham did.
Okay.
And in doing that and building my collection over time, I've noticed that they all tend to have that weird kind of fingery.
Yeah.
And I've just kind of figured out how to grab onto it and make my hand fall into it. But a lot of them have that.
And I think a lot of times too, how your hand fits in a knife is also subjective. Just because you have 4 fingers on it, it may feel cramped to me versus you. My hand might be bigger, even though yours feels cramped and your hand's smaller. My hand is bigger, but it feels good. Like a lot of this, all this stuff that we talk about on YouTube and stuff is so subjective. So subjective. I mean, there's very few things like that are objective. Yes, this has M390 and it's a titanium and it has an access lock. Like that's very objective. Like, but the rest of it is kind of subjective. A good action or a bad action, that's really my take on the action.
Yeah.
My take.
Like I like a really stiff detent. And then I'll hand something, like I'll take a knife and I'll actually increase lock bar tension on it. And then I'll hand that same knife to someone on those. Oh man, that detent's way too hard.
Yep. Everything is subjective. Ant, thank you very much for your comment. We tried to make this intellectual. I'm not normally called intellectual, but thank you. I'm glad that you got something out of it. And I hope everybody got a little something out of this. Stacy, thanks all for coming and hanging out. Yes, thanks everybody. We appreciate it. So I think
Stacy's our ambassador.
Yeah, Stacy kind of sometimes hit and misses. Doesn't make all the streams, but that's okay. Not everybody has to make everything. Like we said earlier, I kind of do this to make a community, have my core group that comments on my normal videos, that joins the lives, and supports me by sending, loaning me stuff. Really, that's immensely helpful.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I appreciate Doom for coming on. I know we kind of went back and forth, last minute stuff and whatnot.
Yeah, it was definitely a last minute thing.
But we appreciate that. I think we have.
I just felt a little offended Gertrude didn't get involved, like she was just sitting back there all quiet and everything. I found it a little bit rude, to be honest with you.
That's what she does, man.
She's just silently there staring and judging us all.
I didn't know if I was drunk and I was just seeing this gorilla or if it was actually there. Or if,
no, she's there and she's peering directly into your soul.
I felt that.
When I'm off of this chat, she's gonna just start. I won't be able to shut her up.
She's gonna talk all the smack about us to you, though. So that's great. I like it.
Yeah, I can't shut her up once I get off of these streams.
Oh boy, yeah, she got a lot to say, I'm sure. So yeah, thank you guys. I think in a couple of weeks we may actually have a watch friend of ours on. Timing didn't work out for this week, and we'll do a little more watches. He has a watch channel, and but he's also into knives, so I think that'll be a good mix. And Alex and I are both into watches, so and I know Bobby? Bobby Legs. So if anybody's familiar with Bobby Legs, go check him out. He will probably be our next guest if we can work out the timing.
Yeah.
I know our timing on a Sunday night. He's over on the East Coast also, so it's 8:00. He normally is putting the kids to bed type of thing, and so got to kind of coordinate it with his wife to help out. So
he's got a pretty decent sized channel too, that guy.
Yeah, his channel is gotten bigger. I think he's at like 15,000 subs now. Am I right?
He's growing pretty quick.
He's doing pretty good, and he does not do every day. He does not we may get a few tips and secrets from him, but good down to earth guy. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Any of you guys that are kind of into watches may be interesting to you. So
is his last name Legs?
His last name is Legs, I believe. I think it's longer. I think that's an abbreviation of his name, and his name is Robert. So yeah, it's just a great name that works out well.
I'm gonna call him
James.
Bob.
Even knows Bobby Legs is great. Yeah, he's a good guy, and I've met him and hung out with him. Like, he's just a good guy. So we've talked a lot over the years because we were in a similar watch group before, and really got to know each other in that group. And he loaned a bunch of watches. He loaned me a Panerai to hang out with for like 2 weeks, and some knives. So
nice.
I may hit him up to borrow the Panerai again and give it another shot and see if I like it better this time. We'll see.
Word.
Any last comments, guys?
No, I appreciate you having me on, man. I had a good time.
You are welcome. I will add your link to your channel in the description after this. I put it in the comments already earlier. Alex is in the comments or in the description. Everybody hopefully knows where Alex's channel is. Everybody knows where my channel is. And we hope to see you over on our main channels as well.
Sweet.
Great. Thanks, everyone. Have yourselves a great rest. Well, have a good week next week. I know tomorrow's Monday, but suck it out.
Monday.
Thanks, guys.
Wah, wah, wah.
See ya.